The way that most of us think about growth is all wrong. We have these ideas about growth and growing, especially when it comes to personal growth, self-development, or business, where we think of it as this constant upward trajectory, right? This idea that if we just keep growing, it will always be upward. It will always be bigger, better. Growth is expansion. And while it can include that, if we look to nature, it's not that, right? Nature has ways of growing that we can learn from. Nature is a wise teacher, and it would behoove us to listen to these ways of growing and to embody that type of growth in ourselves. So, nature makes sounds. Nature has this wisdom. So, there's lots of different ways of growing in nature, right? There are seasons and there are cycles. And we see that trees like the one behind me, when it is late summer, as it is now, it will look different in the winter. It will go through those cycles of, the leaves fall, things rest. And that doesn't mean that that's bad. That doesn't mean that it's not growing. That doesn't mean that it won't bloom again in spring. But it's not this constant upward trajectory of growth. It's cyclical. It takes the time to rest, to recharge before it blooms again in the spring. Right? And then there's other ways of growing that we see in nature. There are mushrooms, like I found in my yard this morning. So we just see the one mushroom magically appear overnight in the grass. And yet that's just basically the flower from this whole network, this mycelium network that is underground, that is expansive, that is growing, but we don't see it. There's growth happening, but we don't see it. And that doesn't mean that it's not growing. That just means that it's a different type of growth. That's very, very important. There are other creatures like dragonflies and butterflies that literally dissolve. They are one thing, and then they completely just transform. They dissolve and become this other beautiful thing. But they have to kind of burn it all down before they can begin anew, before they can grow into the next thing that they were meant to become. And then, of course, there's trees, right? There are different types of plants and trees and ways that we can grow. An oak tree is only going to grow to a certain height, no matter how big and beautiful and wise and ancient it is. A redwood tree is going to grow higher because that's what it's meant to do. A redwood tree is meant to grow and be super tall. A blue whale is going to grow and be magnificent and giant in the ocean. But that doesn't mean that it's growing better than a tiny fish. It just means that it's growing the way that it's supposed to grow. So we can't compare our growth to somebody else's growth because we are growing as we are meant to grow. And our growth might happen underground or behind the scenes for a while. Our growth might be in a period of rest. We might be in a winter cycle as we're preparing for spring blossoming. But we get to slow down, we get to turn within, and we get to find the growth that is right for us. And so each time we come back to the mat, as it were in yoga, each time we come back to our creative practice, we get to take one little more step, one tiny next step towards our growth and the growth that's right for us. So keep growing, keep being, keep doing you.